Okay, take two, section 6.5, solving radical equations. Maybe I'll get it right this time. Last time I got 2 lines into it before I screwed it up. But when I screw it up in the beginning, solving radical equations. When I screw it up in the beginning, it's easy to restart. If I screw up halfway through, maybe I'm just more inclined to try and fix it. So solving radical equations, section 6.5. This is a radical equation. Let's take the square root of x plus 2 is equal to -5. This equation is not radical based on my opinion of whether equations are radical or not. It has a radical in it. So this is a radical equation. To solve this equation, think about inverse operations. To get rid of the square root, we're going to square both sides. Let me change my color here. I'm going to square both sides. On the left-hand side, the square and the square root cancel out. On the right-hand side, -5 times -5 is 25. So x plus 2 is equal to 25. So the technique that we use if you want to get rid of a square root is to square. If you want to get rid of any root, it's to that power. So the fourth root, fourth power, just so long as they match. Okay, and what am I going to do here? Let's subtract 2. X equals 23. And we'll think that everything is hunky-dory and great. When we have a radical equation, though, you have to check your solution. So let's check this. Maybe you can see right now that it's not going to work. So put in 23 for x. 23 plus 2 equals -5. So I've rewritten the original equation in blue, except I plugged in the number 23. I've rewritten the equation, but I plugged in 23. And what's going to happen? Well, 23 plus 2, that is the square root of 25. And the square root of 25 is 5. Does 5 equal -5? No way! No way! 5 does not equal 25. So there is no solution to this radical equation. There is no solution. Okay, this would be empty set, maybe the circle with the slash, something like that. So, 2 things that I want to impart on you. Number 1, to get rid of a root, use the power. Square root, use the power. And the second thing I want to impart on you is that when you square an equation, you might introduce extra solutions. So always check your answer. And you can kind of see why this didn't work out. I raised both sides of the equation to an even power. And if I did that here, if I took both sides and squared them, I would get 25 equals 25. So you can see that raising it to an even power means that you might have extra solutions. So the second thing you need to note is that if you raise it to an even power, you have to check your solutions. Just a good idea to check your solutions anyway, right? Beautiful. Okay, so one more idea I want to get to you in your notes here. Let's check out, I don't know, x plus 2 to the 4/5 power is equal to 16. Okay, here's another equation that we need to solve for some reason. So, to get rid of this exponent, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of that exponent, by another exponent. So I'm actually going to write this on another line because I'm going to want a little bit more room. So x plus 2 to the 4/5 power, I'm going to leave a little bit of room, there's equal to 16. And let's raise both sides of the equation to the 5/4 power. And because I multiplied by the reciprocal, these are going to cancel out. You could multiply across and get 20 over 20, and that will be 1. But the 5s and 4s just cancel out. It's a little quicker in your brain to think about it that way. 4 in the numbers in the numerator and denominator cancel out. And what I do on this side, I have to do on the other side. Both sides. So let's think about these operations here. 4/5 and the 5/4 just cancel out. Let me see, 16 to the 5/4 power. We'll do the root first. The 4th root of 16 is 2, and 2 to the 5th power is 32. Okay, we talked more about that in the previous sections, but there's your index, that's the root, and that's the power. 16, the fourth root is 2, to the fifth power is 32. And let's subtract 2, x equals 30. Now, did I raise this to an even power? No, I raised it to some fraction of some insane crazy power. Let's go ahead and check this just to make sure it's going to work. We had that one before where it didn't work, so let's burn a calorie or two and make sure that it works. So let's plug in 30 into our original equation. Plus 2 to the 4/5 equals 16. Okay, so I plugged 30 into my equation. Let's use order of operations to see if this actually works out. So 30 plus 2 is 32 to the 4/5 power. Let's see, let's do the root first. The fifth root of 32 is 2. And 2 to the fourth power is 16. Does 16 equal 16? Yes! Whoops, yes, that should be a star. Yes! Beautiful. So those are your notes on solving radical equations. There's a bunch of little nuanced stuff that's going to come up in your homework, and we'll get to that as we get it. But those are the new ideas that I want you to have.